Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished guests, and colleagues. Welcome to Canada IVI accession ceremonies at the IVI Headquarters in Seoul. My name is Youngmi Jo. I'm Director of Global Affairs and Communications Unit at IVI, and I'm very pleased to moderate today's honorable event. Thank you. Today marks an important milestone. Canada has long been a leader in global health, and its accession to IVI strengthens our collective efforts to ensure the life-saving vaccines reach those who need them most. Before we begin the ceremony, I'd like to recognize and thank the distinguished guests present in the auditorium today, followed by our colleagues from the IVI team. So let me start from the Embassy of Canada, Seoul, our main guest. His Excellency Philippe Lafortune, Ambassador of Canada to the Republic of Korea. Thank you. And from the embassy, Sarah Panzbani, Second Secretary. Thank you. And then Her Excellency Bernadette Therese C. Fernandez, Ambassador of the Philippines to the Republic of Korea. Thank you. His Excellency Carl Olof Andersson, Ambassador of Sweden to the Republic of Korea. Thank you. And Ms. Hee-sun Shin, Deputy Director General for International Organizations and Nuclear Affairs from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Korea. And Mr. Tae-young Park, Second Secretary, Human Rights and Social Affairs Division. Thank you. And do we have Mr. Claude Ganja here? Okay, not yet. From the Embassy of Rwanda in Seoul. Then we have Mr. Philippe Lafortune, Deputy Head of Mission Embassy of Austria, Seoul. Thank you. And Mr. Chawadu Nipatanon, Minister, Royal Thai Embassy, Seoul. Thank you. And Alexander Mutu, Political Counselor, French Embassy, Seoul. So when Embassy of Kenya representative and Rwanda representative joins, we will introduce. And we have the International Vaccine Institute team represented by Dr. Jerome Kim, Director General. Thank you. And Mr. Francois Belin, Deputy Director General, Chief Operating Officer. And then Mr. Bengsan Kanue, Deputy Director General, Strategy, Program, Quality, Risk Management. And Dr. Kyung-taek Han, our Government Affairs and Public Relations. And we have a Canadian citizen here, Mr. Jonathan Lee, our Head of Human Resources. And another Canadian over there, Esther Juyoung Lee, Associate Researcher, Epidemiology, Public Health and Impact. And then the remaining team is our Global Affairs and Communications Unit team members. Yeah, please. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so we will now begin the ceremony with the strategic remarks from our distinguished speakers. First, we will hear from Professor Helen Lees, Chairperson of the IVI Board of Trustees. We have a pre-recorded message from her. Thank you.
Good morning. Your Excellency Ambassador Philippe Lafortune, representatives of the States Parties who are with us today, distinguished guests and colleagues. My name is Helen Rees, and I'm speaking to you from the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, South Africa. I have the privilege of being appointed as the new chair of the International Vaccine Institute's Board of Trustees. Although I'm unable to join you in person today, it is my great pleasure to welcome Canada as the 28th party to the Agreement on the Establishment of the International Vaccine Institute. And I should add, it's a particular pleasure as my son Yusuf and his wife Zarana, who is Canadian, are currently living in Toronto. This occasion is especially meaningful to me for many, many reasons. And at its core, IVI is about international partnership. It brings countries together to address health challenges that no nation can solve alone. It is therefore a particular privilege that one of my first official engagements as chair is to welcome Canada as a new member into the IVI community. In today's interconnected world, progress in global health depends not only on scientific innovation, which is critically important, but on strong and sustainable partnerships. Today's flag-raising ceremony is, of course, a celebration of Canada's accession, and is also a celebration of the enduring value of working together across borders, disciplines, and sectors in pursuit of better health for all. For nearly 3 decades, IVI has served as a unique platform where countries, scientists, public health leaders, industry, communities, and partners come together to advance vaccine research in development and, critically important, in access as well. Our success reflects not only scientific excellence, but also the commitment of our states parties to IVI's vision of a healthier world made possible by vaccination and available to everyone, everywhere. As the first G7 country to join IVI, Canada brings a distinguished tradition of leadership in science, public health, and international engagement. And today, Canada joins the community of member countries united by the belief that protecting and promoting health is a shared responsibility, and that vaccines remain one of the most effective tools we have to improve lives and strengthen society for all people. Global partnerships play a vital role in countering misinformation, rebuilding trust in science, which at this point is critically important, and also very important, addressing vaccine hesitancy through credible, locally grounded, and globally connected research and engagement. So on behalf of the IVI Board of Trustees, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Government of Canada for its confidence in IVI and our mission. We look forward to the perspectives, expertise, and partnership that Canada will bring to our organization. To our Canadian colleagues, a warm welcome to IVI. We are delighted to have you as part of our community, and we look forward to working together in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. We have now our old friend, Mr. Claude Ganja, first counselor from Embassy of Rwanda in Seoul. Welcome. Okay. So it's now my honor to invite His Excellency Philippe Lafortune, Ambassador of Canada to the Republic of Korea. Please join me welcoming him to the podium.
Well, first of all, before I start my official remark, there's 2 surprises that when arriving here, I got. So surprise number 1, there's a lot of people that have greeted me in my own language first, in French. So bonjour à tout le monde. Je ne m'attendais pas à avoir autant de francophones ce matin, alors c'est toujours un très grand plaisir de pouvoir m'exprimer en français si loin de la maison. But also, I was not aware also I would be meeting and I said this with a lot of love, the Canadian mafia here. There's a lot of Canadian citizens there. So even though today is the official accession of Canada into IVI, I feel a little bit that we're just reflecting what was already ongoing. And thank you so much to all the Canadian citizens that are present in the room for your leadership and to participate to that great cause that is, providing providing more access worldwide to vaccine to those who really need it. But now more for the formal remark. It's also good morning, bonjour, annyeonghaseyo. Director General Kim, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to join you today to mark Canada's accession to the International Vaccine Institute. On behalf of the Government of Canada's like to extend our sincere appreciation to IVI's leadership for its vision and steadfast commitment to advancing global health. Canada is really proud to join this distinguished institution. The past years have underscored a fundamental truth. Health security is actually global security. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed both the extraordinary power of science and collaboration and the persistent inequities that remain in access to vaccines and health technologies. As Louis Pasteur once observed, science knows no country because knowledge belongs to humanity. This principle has never been more relevant. In a world where diseases cross borders freely, cooperation is not optional, it's essential. Canada's engagement today is rooted in a long-standing tradition of scientific leadership in service of humanity. From the discovery of insulin in Toronto, shared with the world not for profit, but to save lives, to the pioneering work of Connaught Laboratories, which helped make vaccines affordable and accessible to millions, Canada's scientific tradition has been guided by a simple principle: discovery in service of humanity. The tradition continues today. Canadian researchers played a key role in developing the Ebola vaccine, which helped save lives during the outbreak in West Africa, demonstrating that Canadian science, at its best, reaches far beyond our borders. These contributions reflect not only innovation, but values, equity, solidarity, and a commitment to global good. These same values are at the heart of the International Vaccine Institute, IVI's mission to discover, develop, and deliver safe, effective, and affordable vaccines align closely with Canadian priorities. Its integrated approach, spanning research, capacity building, and partnership, has delivered real impact from cholera to typhoid and beyond. Equally important is IVI's role in strengthening local capacity, supporting countries not only as recipients, but as partners, producers, and innovators. This is essential to building a more resilient and equitable global health ecosystem. Canada's accession reflects a clear strategic choice to deepen our engagement in global health and work with partners to address shared challenges. To IVI, Canada seeks to strengthen vaccine research and development, particularly for disease affecting the most vulnerable, support equitable access, ensuring vaccines reach all who need them, enhance preparedness through capacity building and knowledge sharing, and foster deeper partnership across regions and institutions. Because ultimately, a vaccine only fulfills its promises when it reaches those who really needs it. I would also like to highlight the strength of Canada's partnership with the Republic of Korea as the host nation of IVI. Korea's leadership in global health and its steadfast support for IVI have been instrumental to the Institute's success. Canada and Korea share strong complementarities in science, innovation, and multilateral engagement, and our collaboration continues to grow. Canada's accession to IVI opens a new chapter in this partnership, enabling us to work even more closely together to advance global health outcomes. Canada firmly believes in the value of multilateral cooperation. Institutions like IVI remind us that the most complex global challenges cannot be solved alone. They require shared responsibility, shared expertise, and shared purposes. Our accession is therefore not only a technical step, but a reaffirmation of our commitment to collective action in support of global health security. Excellencies, colleagues, Canada joins IVI with humility and determination. We raise our flag here today not only as a symbol of our presence, but as a symbol of partnership. Together, we have an opportunity to shape a future where innovation serves the most vulnerable, where vaccines are accessible to all, and where global health systems are stronger and more equitable and more resilient. Let us seize the opportunity with urgency, with purpose, and with partnership. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Gamsahamnida.
So thank you. Thank you, Excellency, for your remarks. We hope that Canada's accession now opens new opportunities for IVI and Canada relations, and then for more collaborative research project. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to invite Her Excellency Bernadette Therese C. Fernandez, Ambassador of the Philippines to the Republic of Korea, representing IVI's state parties. So the Philippines currently serves as president of the IVI Global Council, an advisory body of the IVI State Parties. Please welcome Ambassador.
I'm going to put this a bit lower because Ambassador Philippe is so tall. Thank you, Yongmin. Dr. Jerome Kim, Director General of the International Institute, Vaccine Institute, His Excellency Philippe Lafortune, Ambassador of Canada, His Excellency Carl Olof Andersson, Ambassador of Sweden, fellow members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinct honor to join you today as we celebrate Canada's accession as a state party to the International Vaccine Institute. On behalf of the Republic of the Philippines, I warmly congratulate the Government of Canada on this important milestone. Canada's accession strengthens not only IVI, but also the broader community of countries committed to vaccine development, equitable access, and stronger health systems for all. The Philippines knows well the value of this work. As a state party to IVI, we have been pleased to provide a modest but meaningful voluntary contribution of US $20,000 in support of IVI's mission over the past 3 years. More importantly, the Philippines values our continuing collaboration with IVI in vaccine research and development, including work related to infectious diseases that remain urgent public health concerns such as dengue, typhoid fever, cholera, tuberculosis, and respiratory pathogens. This occasion is especially meaningful because it brings together 3 important relationships. First, the Philippines and Canada share a deep people-to-people ties. During my time in Toronto, I saw firsthand the vital contribution of Filipinos to Canada's healthcare system, and this will be doctors, nurses, care aides, researchers, professors, and health professionals, serving communities with dedication and compassion. Canada has also been a valued partner of the Philippines, including in efforts to strengthen public health, expand access to services in remote communities, and support immunization. These efforts matter deeply as we work to close persistent gaps in vaccine coverage. Second, the Philippines and IVI share a practical and forward-looking partnership anchored in vaccine research, innovation, and delivery. I also take this opportunity to reaffirm the goodwill of the Philippine Embassy in Seoul towards IVI. We remain committed to supporting IVI's engagement with the Philippines and to helping advance partnerships that bring science, policy, and public health closer together. Third, with Canada now joining IVI as a state party, we see new possibilities for cooperation among the Philippines, Canada, IVI, and the wider IVI family. This is the kind of partnership the world needs, one that connects countries, institutions, scientists, healthcare workers, and communities in pursuit of a common good. Today, Canada's accession reminds us that vaccine development is not only a scientific undertaking, it is also an act of solidarity. It is a commitment to ensure that life-saving innovations reach the people who need them most. The Philippines looks forward to working with Canada, IVI, and all the state parties in advancing vaccine development, strengthening health resilience, and building a healthier, safer, and more inclusive future. Thank you. Kamsahamnida, mabuhay. Manasaya bangkapsunida. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. We greatly appreciate the embassy's support and also support from the Department of Health hosting us in Manila last May for a Global Council meeting and also joint hosting of the side event at the World Health Assembly. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to invite Ms. Hee-sun Shin, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, the host country of IVI Headquarters.
His Excellency Philippe Lafortune, Her Excellency Benedict Fernandez, Dr. Jerome Kim, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Korean government, which is honored to host IVI, I'd like to cordially welcome Canada for joining IVI. Established in Seoul in 1997, IVI has been contributing to vaccine research and development and enhancing global health equity. For nearly 3 decades, IVI has been pioneering in resolving common challenges that the world faces by developing and supplying vaccines, mainly for low and middle income countries in need. We take great pride in having worked alongside IVI through its highs and lows, deeply sharing its values and aspirations for global health. As its host nation, Korea has been a steadfast partner of IAE from the outset, providing its headquarters and research facilities and funding operational costs. Building on its commitment, the Korean government has actively encouraged more countries to join through various bilateral and multilateral occasions. And today, we are delighted to have Canada as a new member, one of the first G7 countries to join IVI. We hope that many other countries will follow Canada in taking such a meaningful step. Against the backdrop of a shrinking global health resources and multilateral cooperation being tested, Canada's decision to join IVI makes a firm commitment to global health. As Canada brings world-class capability in bio-preparedness and vaccine research and development, we look forward to Canada's contribution and to the fruitful results it may bring in many areas. Excellencies and distinguished guests, let us recall what happened in the first half of the 2020s. The first half of the 2020s reminds us how fragile global health can be. The COVID-19 pandemic reached every corner of the world, closing borders and bringing gatherings like this to a halt. And it taught us that health is a common good and one can be secured only through the shared efforts of the nations, all nations. To prevent such pandemics and to safeguard lives across the world, including those affected by the Ebola virus outbreak, we must stand united in a spirit of solidarity guided by science and evidence. In this regard, we once again welcome Canada's accession to the IVI, and we hope that IVI will continue to serve as an international platform for global health cooperation, remain responsive to the global health emergencies, and capitalize on its unique end-to-end model spanning the entire vaccine value chain from research and development to delivery and access. The Republic of Korea looks forward to working alongside Canada and IVI to forge meaningful synergies in years ahead. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Sin, for Korea's steadfast, long support for IVI. And also, I'd like to appreciate all the IVI member states and also France, who is under the accession process. And we greatly appreciate your commitment and contributions for IVI and then to our shared mission. So we'll now invite the Director General of IVI, Dr. Jerome Kim, for his remarks and introduction to IVI. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good morning, 안녕하십니까, and bonjour. And I regret to say that my staff did a really great job in preparing an introduction in French, and I practiced it many times last night, but I can't say it with any of them. So, désolé, I'm sorry. Your Excellencies, Ambassador Philippe Lafortune, distinguished ambassadors, representatives of our state parties, esteemed members of the diplomatic corps, honored guests, colleagues, and friends. It's a great privilege to welcome you to the International Vaccine Institute as we celebrate an important milestone, Canada's accession as the 28th state party to the IVI Establishment Agreement and the raising of the Canadian flag at our headquarters here in Seoul. A flag-raising ceremony is more than just an event. It's a visible expression of shared values, shared responsibilities, and a shared commitment to a healthier and more secure world. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to Ms. Sarah Panjvani from the Embassy of Canada and our colleagues from Global Affairs Canada, whose dedication and engagement have helped bring us to this moment. I wish as well to thank Professor Helen Rees, Chair of IVI's Board of Trustees, our state party representatives, and all distinguished guests here today, whether in person or in spirit. Today marks the culmination of a journey that began with the visit of Canada's then Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honourable Mélanie Joly, to IVI Headquarters in July 2024, when she formally announced Canada's intention to join our organization. We're deeply grateful for Canada's confidence in IVI and in our mission to discover, develop, and deliver safe, effective, and affordable vaccines, empowering vaccine equity, impact, and sustainability globally. At a time when infectious diseases recognize no borders, moments like this remind us that neither should our solutions. Canada has long been a champion of international cooperation, of global health security, of equitable access to vaccines, and climate-resilient development. These priorities align very closely with IVI's work and vision. The intersection of health, climate, and security will define many of the challenges of this century. Vaccines remain among humanity's most powerful tools for protecting lives, strengthening resilience, and creating opportunity. Canada's accession builds upon an already strong foundation of collaboration. In 2025, as one example, IVI renewed our Memorandum of Understanding with the University of Saskatchewan's Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization, or VIDO, strengthening cooperation in vaccine research and development. And it's not well known, but there's a devastating disease affecting koala bears in Australia, and collaboration between IVI and VIDO resulted in a patent and a vaccine that is now being used to protect those koalas from chlamydia infection. I'm also particularly pleased that during the same week of this flag-raising ceremony, IVI will sign another Memorandum of Understanding in British Columbia with the National Research Council of Canada. And actually, one of our other Canadian citizens is actually representing IVI at that signing, establishing a collaborative framework for joint vaccine research, development, and manufacturing. And one other, actually not very well-known thing is that we've just started to work with SK Bioscience, the Hilleman Labs, and Merck on a revision of the Canadian Ebola vaccine to make it a little less reactogenic, to make it easier to give to people. And again, reflecting ongoing work, and actually the National Research Council of Canada has already been discussing how we might extend that work in the future. Together, these initiatives demonstrate what is possible when scientific excellence is matched by international cooperation. Every vaccine begins as an act of scientific discovery and achieves its greatest impact through solidarity, access, and equity. Today, we're honored to welcome Canada into the IVI family, and we look forward to working together to advance innovation, strengthen preparedness, and improve health outcomes for communities around the world for many years to come. Thank you. I'd now like to briefly introduce you to IVI and the work we do around the world. IVI is a UN-chartered institution dedicated to discovery, development, and delivery of safe, effective, and affordable vaccines. Again, and the Board of Trustees added this phrase last year, empowering vaccine equity, impact, and sustainability globally. You can see where around the world IVI works. Our headquarters in Seoul in South Korea, a regional office in Stockholm, a regional office in Kigali, and country offices in Austria, and now, or soon, in Kenya. Very important. What you see with the little pinpoints is our sites around the world where IVI is currently conducting work in vaccine development. And you can see the flags of the state parties and also the signatories and the countries that are still in line for accession. And these are 18 in number. This has been IVI's growth over the last 11 years, and you can see that we've increased our funding by fivefold, significantly increasing the number of funders. In the circle to the left, you can see there that we were 75% funded by the Gates Foundation in 2015. Now the Gates Foundation is about 25% of the funding, with 25% coming from CEPI and a significant portion coming from other sources. What you see on the bottom set of pie charts are the vaccines that we work on. So we used to originally work on cholera, typhoid, and dengue, and now we work on a significantly greater number of vaccines. Importantly, cholera has reemerged and reemerged as a vaccine to be improved upon with funding from the Gates Foundation and others. This is actually a complicated chart, but what you see in the gray areas on the bottom are the vaccines that we're working on. These are in animal testing. These are in human testing. These are vaccines that have been approved in one or several countries around the world where IVI is working to generate real-world evidence or working, as in the case of hepatitis E, to bring a vaccine that has a 95% efficacy at 5 years forward to WHO pre-qualification and a SAGE recommendation that will allow countries around the world where hepatitis E outbreaks occur to use the vaccine in safety. What you see on the far left-hand side here are the diseases that we are tracking epidemiologically, doing disease surveillance studies. And then at the bottom are things that we do that aren't necessarily vaccines themselves, but are activities or functions that one needs to do in order to push vaccine development forward. Importantly, IVI has done 14 technology transfers of 6 different vaccines to companies around the world. These are the vaccines that IVI has developed from our laboratory. These include the oral cholera vaccine, the typhoid conjugate vaccine, and we're working on a non-typhoidal salmonella vaccine here as vaccine number 3. And we've initiated work on a 4th vaccine, one against Klebsiella pneumoniae, which is a priority pathogen for antimicrobial resistance. We actually have funding for a 5th vaccine, and we haven't determined what that vaccine will be. That will be an ongoing discussion between the scientists at IVI, the Scientific Advisory Group, and the Board of Trustees. This indicates the work that IVI has done in training. So far, over 8,000 people have come through various training programs at IVI, including over 1,000 in formal training programs that are a part of the WHO Academy's Global Training Hub for Biomanufacturing. The first 2 courses actually are taught here at IVI, and actually we have posted all the modules for those online so that people can access them free of charge. We're also part of the GHSA and ASEAN Vaccine Security and Self-Reliance down here, and this has actually been an important regional hub for vaccine security in ASEAN, which has different needs from, for instance, vaccine security or vaccine manufacturing needs in Africa. And finally here on the far left-hand side is just a reminder that we have done significant number of technology transfers. One of the most recent is a technology transfer of oral cholera vaccine to a company called BioVac in South Africa. That vaccine is now in phase 3 testing for non-inferiority, and if it is non-inferior to the biologics vaccine produced here in Korea, this will be the first successful technology transfer of vaccine manufacturing to Africa in 100 years. So that is a very important first step for us. It's an important first step for Africa, and we're very proud to be a part of the ongoing effort to build vaccine manufacturing capabilities in Africa. But I think on the other side, and this is something that continues to be developed, while we focus on developing vaccines for global health, IVI's activities within a country, and we're using Korea here as an example, does generate a significant secondary benefit for the country, for a host country or a country where there is a country office or a regional office. So this indicates in 2010, Korea was faced with the pandemic influenza crisis, and the United States, under US laws, informed the Korean government that the US could confiscate all the vaccine that Korea had purchased, which is something we recognize happened during the COVID pandemic as well. But at that point, Korea was only 20% self-sufficient in vaccines and was the number 11 vaccine manufacturer globally. Working with the Korean government, with the Ministry of Health and Welfare, scientists at IVI came up with a plan called Vaccine 3.0, which was finally funded in 2016, and built the Vaccine Research Center at KNIH, also built 2 pilot plants, one for viral, one for cellular vaccines, one for viral and one for bacterial vaccines in different parts of Korea. And during COVID, those pilot plants actually were able to produce things for testing in Korea. The third stage was the second stage was the creation of the Wright Foundation, Research Investment and Global Health Technologies Foundation, which is a way for the Korean government, the Gates Foundation, and Korean companies to leverage additional funding. So those 3 organizations have put in $100 million worth of funding towards vaccines, drugs, and diagnostics for global health. At the same time, an additional $350 million of funding has been put in by other funders, so that there's a 1 to 3.5 Korean won leveraging of investments put into this, and it has developed vaccines and diagnostics that are now either approved by WHO, so available for purchase by UN organizations, or soon to be approved and pre-qualified by WHO. So 2 vaccines are in that category. So this fund has actually developed new technology that is approved and can be sold on global markets. The technology is for global health. The benefit are the Korean companies that are funded by the Wright Foundation. Vital Korea, KMVAC, and others were large Korean government research and development hubs, and IVI has been a part of that, part of the thinking that went into the funding of these, and we continue to contribute to the development of novel vaccines, either mRNA vaccines or vaccines for global health, or vaccines that support the National Immunization Program of the Republic of Korea. So again, IVI's efforts that directly benefit global health, but they also indirectly significantly benefit the countries where our headquarters or regional offices are located. And finally, the K-Vaccine Hub. The Global Training Hub for Biomanufacturing is actually located in this K-Vaccine Hub, which several of us served on panels to advise the Korean government for the formation of this hub. And also, you can see here, the Global Training Hub is actually funded by the Korean government. So the Korean government supports the conference itself and the room and board for all the participants, so now over 1,000 people come for either 2-week or 3-week courses. The countries pay for the airfare. The Korean government supports the rest of the effort. So these are the kinds of things that Korea has been doing, and IVI has been an important part of helping Korea to achieve. And we included a paper that was published yesterday, actually in The Lancet, that was written by Professor Mina Kang at Ewha University and also by Professor Suri Moon at the University of Geneva, which talk about Korea's role as a middle power in global health. And I think that this is going to resonate particularly with the other countries many of the other countries that form a part of IVI, because there is a lot that we can do together. Oops. Oh, sorry, this is not the slide set. So, I'm not going to, I'll go through this really quickly. This talks about the European Regional Office. This is the Africa Regional Office and the Hong Kong Jockey Club. The Jockey Club is the second largest charity in Asia. And a $30 million grant from the Jockey Club allowed us to set up a true process development lab. Process development is a very important pre-industrial step. And as we prepare vaccines for technology transfer, the use of this laboratory will allow us to do something that industry has wanted us to do for a long time, which is an industrial scale process development activity, which makes it much easier to do technology transfer. These are the impact indicators. 180 vaccine discovery and development projects since 2015, 5 vaccines pre-qualified by the World Health Organization, over 200 million doses of oral cholera vaccine. You can see 1,600 manuscripts published here at the end. Oh, there. But a significant number of other benefits. We've listed this here. This is the Wright Foundation. $100 million of Korean government, Gates, and Korean company funding, with $350 million of leveraged additional funding to support vaccine development. So in this case, IVI is not, we do work on vaccines funded by the Wright Fund, but this is funding that is mobilized by things that IVI, the Korean government, and Gates Foundation have put together. And I think that this is a different reflection of impact. This is the ability to get people working together, working cooperatively, funding cooperatively to move significant projects forward for global health. So again, I didn't want to go through all of these, but 2025 was not a good year for global health. Everyone recalls the things that happened, the decisions that were made in certain parts of the world, but also, reflecting instability within the world, governments were investing more in defense and were able to spend less for global health. And these are priorities that governments and governments that are duly elected by their populations have to reflect. But these trends can be described in several different ways. There was a fragmentation of the global health ecosystem. We went from a relatively unipolar system to one that is much more multipolar, from a global north to a global idea within global health. And then there's a devolution of responsibility and leadership from a central location in Geneva to regional locations. So AVSSR becomes more important. The African region and PAHO become much more prominent because each area is trying to strengthen its own regional capabilities. Europe did the same thing. The European Vaccine Hub, which is based in Siena now, but is actually scattered throughout Europe, is again a reaction to the uncertainty in global health. So in response to this, IVI has engaged in 3 very significant projects. The first of which is called ACHIEVE, Accelerating Health Innovation, Equity, and Development of Vaccines and Biologics in Africa. This starts with a $50 million award or grant in collaboration with the University of Pennsylvania. So the discoverer of mRNA vaccines, Dr. Drew Weissman, is committed $50 million for R&D around mRNA vaccines and therapeutics. And the University of Pennsylvania will donate the intellectual property to low and middle income countries, which has been a real issue as the pandemic agreement has evolved. The second component of this is a $35 million commitment from African countries. So these are countries committing funding for global health. And we were just at a meeting at a Africa Forward Summit. Actually, President Macron was one of the co-chairs of that summit. And President Ruto of Kenya said very clearly, Africa must first invest in Africa and then invite others to join in investment. And this is an attempt to do that. $50 million from the University of Pennsylvania, $35 million from the African countries, African political and scientific leadership, and now $20 million from the MasterCard Foundation to support human resource development. We are at $105 million without going to the European Commission, the Wellcome Trust, or the Gates Foundation, although African leaders are now putting together packets that will go to these funders and will be following those letters up with calls from African leaders to the leaders of different funding organizations. Again, with the message being Africa has now invested in Africa. And now we invite you to join this investment in global health technology development. The second one is something we call Bridging Research Investment Global Health Technologies Fund, BRIGHT. Seems familiar because we talked about the RIGHT Fund. This is a RIGHT fund for other countries. So so far Brazil and Indonesia have committed. Panama has indicated that it would like to join as well. The idea is similar, 50% funding from government, 25% from philanthropies, and maybe 25% either from companies or from development banks as a different way to get funding into this. We're targeting a $300 million fund. And finally, something we call BridgeVax. And this comes out of the idea that there are certain vaccines, Ebola vaccine may be one of them, but there are others as well. The Korean government is developing or has developed a hantavirus vaccine. Other governments are trying to develop different forms of Ebola virus vaccines. These are vaccines that aren't going to be selling for billions of dollars. And for that reason, it's difficult to get companies engaged. BridgeVax is a proposal to hold for non-incentivized vaccines, for there to be either stockpiles or for a market authorization to be held by a not-for-profit entity, or this entity could be the source of what we call an investigational ready reserve. So we knew Bundabujo was going to come, but we didn't have vaccine ready to test. What we could be doing is developing vaccine, creating these investigational stockpiles. The BridgeVax entity would maintain the stockpile, would disseminate and get approval of research protocols in countries that were likely to have outbreaks. So for Bundabujo, say, in Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, or in countries in West Africa. So all the things are approved in advance so that when an outbreak occurs, vaccine can rapidly be shipped from this BridgeVax entity to a site with protocols already in place and pre-approved. So we won't be doing this game of catch-up that we have been doing for Ebola, for the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, for Nipah virus vaccines, for Andes hantavirus. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak, and I'm happy to answer additional questions afterwards. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. We'll make sure to use the right slide in the next accession ceremonies, hopefully Malaysia, Zambia, and Uruguay, hopefully this year. Yes, France. Yes. Okay, this concludes the indoor program, and then now we will move to the lobby first for photo taking, and then to the courtyard for flag raising ceremony, and then we'll move to the restaurant for lunch. Thank you very much, and let's move. Thank you. Raising of the Canadian flag by His Excellency Ambassador Lafortune. Thank you for this proud moment. And then now we'll proceed with National Anthem of Korea, host country of IVI Headquarters.